Been recording for a while now.
Well, here we are.
Here we are again on our
Hump day.
own.
Feeling it a little bit. How about you?
Nah,
I'm feeling it a little bit. I don't
nah,
know
I'm
about
just
anybody
joking.
else
I'm
out
just
there,
joking.
but I'm definitely feeling it a little bit. It is Wednesday, hump day. We have a hill to get over.
Little
Hi
bit,
ho,
little bit.
hi ho. It's off to work we go. No.
I'm not sold on the topic yet, but we could go down this path. I'm ready. I'm
Well,
ready.
you
Let's
ain't gonna
go.
sing with
Let's
me?
go.
Come on.
Hi ho.
There's only one way to get there.
I don't remember the.
Well, but we know
I
the
haven't
basics.
watched the Seven Dwarfs in a while, so.
Well, hold on. You know this part. Hi ho, hi ho.
Yeah.
It's off to work we go. Dun
Dun,
dun
dun,
dun
dun,
dun
dun,
dun dun
dun,
dun dun
yeah.
dun 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 dun. Bum, ba, da,
My
da, dun, dun.
memory of that specific
Okay,
Disney
so we'll
song
just do
is
the high.
bad.
We'll just do the high hos then.
Hi ho.
Okay, you ready? 1, 2, 3. Hi ho,
Hi ho.
hi ho.
Hi ho.
It's off to work we go.
It's off to work we go.
I don't feel like you're all in this with
It's
me.
okay.
We
It's
got
okay.
it's hump day. No. I need
It's hump day.
more energy. We have to
Okay.
get over the hill.
We have to get over the hill.
Okay, so
I don't
you
think.
ready? Are you ready?
Okay.
Okay, come on. Get into your inner dwarf. Pretend you're like 4'11", and
That's not hard to do.
you ready?
I don't think 4'11" people sing. I think we usually kick people in the shins.
Okay.
I like to do that.
Hi ho.
Hi ho.
Hi ho.
So off to work we go. Yes.
It's off to kick people in the shins, because you know that's how we wins. Hi ho. Hi ho. Hi ho. Hi ho. No? Hi ho. It's off to work we go. Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
My co-host thinks I'm insane. Today's
Little
episode.
bit. But it's okay. It's okay. I'm insane too.
Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs. Not really. We're not talking about Snow White. No hoes in this.
No hose. I mean, what?
Goodbye, ho.
What?
Goodbye, ho. It's off to work we go.
Snow White's a hoe?
No.
What?
They were saying hi to somebody. I'm just.
I thought they were saying bye.
Oh. Bye, ho. Bye, ho. It's
No,
off
I just
to
mean,
work
I
it
like
still sounds
they're
like
going away from her. So why would they say hi ho to her if they're going away from her?
So there was another
They're going to
woman in
work.
the movie that we never see.
Sure, yeah, there's another woman at the mine that they're saying hi to.
Can you name the Seven Dwarfs?
No, I know.
Can anyone have their name?
I
Seven
know.
Dwarfs? Who knows
What's his
the
name?
Seven Dwarves?
What's
The
his
Seven Dwarves
name?
are important.
What's
They're
his
really
name?
important, them damn Seven
Dopey.
Dwarves.
I know Dopey.
I know Dopey.
Yep.
We all know Dopey.
I love Dopey. He's dope.
We all love Dopey.
Yeah, he's
We all
dope.
feel a little. It's like it's a. Dopey makes us feel good about being dopey.
I'm a little dopey.
Right, we're all a little dopey. We all
Right.
have a little dopey in us, right?
Right? That sounds, yeah.
Hi ho, hi ho. It's.
I'm not gonna bail you out on this one, man.
There's no bailing required.
No.
There's no bailing
no.
required.
It's okay.
So do you think that's the dwarf you relate the most to?
Probably, yeah.
What do you think that says
It's
about
also
you?
it's also the one I remember the most, but still. I think I like Dopey. I think he's dope. He's pretty cool.
I think we all relate to Dopey because we're all human.
Right?
Dopey represents a very human side of things. I think all of that. We're gonna get a little deeper in the Seven Dwarfs.
Yeah.
And you know what?
Was that real?
What?
That sneeze, was that real? That was so random.
Right? That was so random.
That was so random.
So we got Dopey. Do we know any other dwarves' names?
Sleepy? Right?
Sleep.
Right? Sleepy? Isn't that one of the dwarfs?
No. Yeah.
I'm pretty sure Sleepy. Yeah.
Okay,
yeah.
so Sleepy.
Yeah.
We got Dopey. I mean, I'm gonna have to make a list here. There's
Oh, you're
7 of
making a
them,
list.
right?
I might as well look them up at this point.
How about
'cause-
I'll tell you a secret.
What?
While
What's the
we're-
secret? What's the secret?
I have to look over here. This I have to look up. I apologize, folks. You'll have to look at the back of my head for a minute. It's not awful, but let me think. Where'd it go? Okay, so do you know the original name? We'll skip it. I'm gonna clue you ahead. I'm gonna give you the original names of the seven dwarves and see if it helps you. Little known fact: originally a Grimm's fairy tale. Okay.
Right.
100 years it was written before they got the names you know now. Okay, it was.
Oh, that's why you sneezed. Because there's one
You're
called.
cheating.
Okay.
He's cheating,
I'm sorry.
folks.
I'm
He
sorry.
cheated.
I didn't cheat all
He
the
full
way.
on cheated.
I just saw
He full on
Sneezy
cheated.
and Sleepy.
He full
That's
on
it.
cheated. He full on cheated.
I didn't see all of them.
That doesn't work that way.
I didn't
But
see all of them.
the original names:
The ones I remember was
Blick,
Sleepy and
Flick, Glick, Snick, Plick, Wick, and Quee. I think I find myself most closely relating to Quee. Does anybody else think Quee is probably?
Quee?
Are you more a Plick guy?
Quee? How do you spell that?
It is Quee. Or were you more a Glick or
I
a
thought it was
Snick
like with a
kind of guy?
K, a glick or a snick.
Do you relate more to Glick or Snick? Which of the seven
I
dwarves
don't
do you
know
feel best
what-
represents your psyche?
I don't know what the hell they're talking about. Dog, it sounds like they just made that up. All of it. They made all of that up. That don't make no sense. They're not ink. Well, maybe they're
Welcome to
German.
how books are
That's
written.
not German
They
either.
made it
That's,
all up.
they made all of
The
that
leap
up.
today will be that when people write books,
Nah, they made all of that
they
up.
make it all up.
Yep.
100 years. This is the original story.
Right.
This is the original Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs.
Right.
Don't diss Quee.
Okay.
Quee the man.
Okay.
Blick, flick, nick, schnick. Blick, flick, blick, snick, plick, wick, Quee.
I think the only one that's an actual word is wick.
Echo would like to point out
Wick is the
that
only
she
one
had
that
no
actually
problem
is
getting
an actual
sneezy
word.
after I fake sneezed over and over again.
I didn't know there was a dwarf named Sneezy. I didn't know that.
And then, well, you've.
I haven't
what about
seen.
Queasy?
I haven't seen that movie since like I was a kid.
What
So I
about
don't-
Queasy the dwarf? They don't talk about him much.
Queasy?
Yeah, he was going through hard withdrawals, so they don't show him in the movie. The Queasy had been through some rough things, but he was coming up, so he
Queasy.
couldn't. There were 8 dwarves. Queasy, they kind of hit off in the
Oh my
corner.
God.
You know, but they got him through. Often referred to as Quee. Okay,
Oh
So
my
we got-
gosh.
Grumpy.
Okay. Yeah, I remember that now.
So you relate to Dopey.
Yeah,
What about Grumpy?
I like Grumpy. He's cool.
No, I said, do you? Oh no.
Do I relate to him?
My cheat sheet just disappeared. That's not acceptable. There they are. I'm like, no.
Where's the cheat sheet? Bring back the cheat sheet.
I'll give us all a cheat sheet. How about that?
Okay.
I'll give us all a cheat sheet. Ta-da. So you got Grumpy, Sleepy, Dopey.
Right.
We relate to all those, right?
Right.
I think everybody immediately relates to Dopey because
He's
we all
Dopey,
have
man.
this feeling of having a bit of an imposter syndrome, like we
He's
don't believe in
Dopey.
ourselves.
Right.
The Dopey's not dopey. Well, he is dopey,
He's
but
a little dopey.
he's the sweetest one, and he actually is very
Yeah.
genuine, as we feel.
Definitely.
So you got Grumpy.
Okay.
Grumpy's kind of pissed at it all. He's a contrarian.
Yes.
Do you, Ross, by any chance know what a contrarian is?
Yes, I've been a contrarian this entire show. Like, not this entire show, but
I
like
want you to know that he is soft
this
selling how long he's
specific-
been a contrarian.
this specific
His experience.
however long 8 minutes that we've been
Oh,
live.
He
Yeah.
was never that before 8 minutes ago.
Okay, maybe. Okay, maybe a little bit. Maybe a little bit. Yeah.
Maybe a little bit. But
Maybe a little bit.
how do we deal with Grumpy?
How do we deal with Grumpy?
If it's a grumpy day, if you're feeling like you're grumpy today, like you're like every answer is no.
To some extent, I try my best to like hold that in. Like I try to go against it in some sort of way. Like I try to be like if I'm feeling grumpy about a situation, I try not to show that, even if like I might say something, but I'm trying not to like. So like when I'm angry, I try not to like show I'm angry with like the way that I talk. I try to like tell people that I'm angry without like showing it. I don't do a good job at that, but you know, I try. It's a thing that I try to do.
Yeah. The grumpy's hard to deal with. We all get it.
Definitely.
We all definitely. I think that's one we actually fight with, as opposed to dopey. We can accept. Dopey's like accepting our inner us that feels questionable. Like, hey, I don't trust everything I decide.
Yeah, you can keep pushing with dopey, but grumpy just stops everything.
I mean, Sneezy is obviously the ender of worlds, the bringer of pandemics. Sneezy represents the end of the world, obviously.
That's funny.
Sneezy, dopey, grumpy. Who else you got? Who can you? Yeah. Okay.
No, I'm looking at the screen. I'm looking at
Let's go
the
with Doc.
live.
Let's
Doc?
Let's jump to the other extreme.
I don't remember Doc's personality.
Assume that Doc
Yeah.
is a Doc. You can actually. The nice thing about not calling him Quee or Blick is now we know what they are. I think the big leap from Quee and Blick to the names we've fallen on is people don't go, man, Quee, he knew some stuff.
What the hell did Quee do? What type of like
Well, but how do you know Quee wasn't Doc?
knowledge were you gonna gain from calling him Quee?
Well, originally it was
Like-
just 7 dwarves.
Yeah, I
It
get
was
that.
a random 7 dwarves.
I get that.
But so the impetus for this show is with a little bit of silly. I want to talk about how we're all onions.
So we should have talked about Shrek. What are we doing?
no,
what
that
are we
we're-
doing here?
We're glass onions that there's more layers to us.
Okay.
So we are a little dopey. All
Yeah.
of us have
Yeah.
some dopey.
Yeah.
Let's be honest. Everybody in the world right now has got some sneezy going on.
Yeah.
There's some sneezy.
Yeah.
But sometimes we feel sick or not good.
Okay.
You know that sometimes we let our physical body affects who we are.
Okay.
So I think sneezy represents that physicality that actually can have an effect on all the rest of your feelings.
That's a good point.
You know, so sneezy, dopey, grumpy. I mean, we all relate to grumpy. I think on some level. I'm gonna tell you the story of
the rest of them got going on.
I'm gonna tell you the story of a cup.
A cup,
A cup.
like Beauty and the Beast.
No.
Okay.
So, man, this is early mid 70s.
Okay.
Snow White and the 7 Dwarves has come out again in the theaters.
Right.
I am young enough to throw a holy hell fit. And my
Okay.
mom would have to bust in with how old I was because I have no idea. So, my brother got to pick which cup to get first.
Okay.
He got Dopey. Where do you
Okay.
go after Dopey? Everybody wants Dopey. I want to be Dopey.
Right. I want to be dopey. Everybody wants to be dopey.
Excuse me. Burpee.
Till you're dopey, then you don't
Burpee,
really want
the
to
less
be dopey.
known
but
of the dwarves. Also sells seeds.
burpees are awesome. I love
But-
burpees.
Stop it. You're making me grumpy.
That's the point.
So I throw a fit and guess which cup I get.
Okay. Grumpy.
Of course. Of course. I
Uh-huh.
was, to this day I remember that. I
So
had a
you
grumpy
wanted to
cup.
be dopey, and then you threw a fit
older
about
brother
not
got to
getting
have the dopey cup.
and then you got grumpy.
Well, because I wouldn't give an answer about which one I wanted, so they
So
bought me
you're gonna
grumpy.
get grumpy.
Well, you're obviously grumpy. So my memory is that obviously these things fit relative to descriptions.
Right.
Thank God, looking back, I realized, oh, I'm grumpy. I must have known something. My brother was just dopey. My brother is by no means dopey. Degree in physics and a variety of other things, and quite a wise man. But you know what? As a kid, I might have liked to think of him as a little dopey. So sneak, grumpy, sneezy, dopey, sleepy. Sleep.
Sleeping.
So you're looking at the rest, going, this is not meaningful, is it?
I'm very sleepy sometimes.
I talk about sleep as time travel.
Definitely.
Sometimes
Definitely.
that like you're caught in a space and it's like jumping in your TARDIS and going to the next moment.
Well, when I was a kid, I just used to sleep all day if I didn't want to deal with anything. Like I'd sleep through a whole weekend sometimes, just because I could. Like it's almost like your body. It's weird because if you go to sleep, wake up, and just go back to sleep, like you don't need anything. You don't need to use the
Give me
bathroom.
just a
You
second.
don't need to what?
No. There's a noise.
Yeah.
What is the noise?
I think it's the beeping. I think.
Where is the beeping coming from?
I'm pretty sure it's coming from this, but you're gonna disagree with me on that.
That can't make beeps, so it's got to be coming from
I'm
this.
telling you, it doesn't always do this.
You can hear it in your ears, though.
No, I can't.
It's
I can't
not
hear it in my ears, but I can see it. I can see it on the Audacity recording.
So that something is beeping.
Yeah, there's a beeping noise that like keeps happening. Like it's a reoccurring beeping noise, and I can't figure out where it's coming from. Fully.
How many times has it happened?
A lot by the looks of the Audacity thing.
Somebody post something and see if it beeps. Somebody just say something. Let's see.
Hold on. I can do this.
Beep.
Oh, sounds like a fan, not a beep. Okay. There's a okay.
Dun, dun, dun.
There's
I
a
am off.
beeping and white noise. The beeping is very faint. Okay, the beeping is faint. The fan's on. That's why.
Is the fan better?
That should be better. I think.
Do to do.
What are you doing? That's hilarious.
I am so sorry for that, folks. Does that sound any better? Anybody out there? Is there a little bit of...
Hey, hey, hey.
Hey, hey, hey.
Straight over.
Hey, hey, hey. Don't eat that pudding.
Really?
That part's in the board.
I don't know.
Was there an extra mic on? Is that any better?
No, that was this, but I don't know if that's gonna help.
Which piece is that? That should help.
White noise is gone. Beeping is louder now that the white noise isn't drowning it out.
Oh my gosh.
I don't know how to deal with this.
Oh my gosh.
Don't know how to handle this.
Because I don't see it at my end. Hey now, this is right. We need Doc. We need the part of this that is Doc.
Doc?
Where's our new producer? We're gonna need the Taurus. How bad is it, guys? Can we keep going? Still beeping after you push something.
Yep. See, it's not that. I'm pretty sure it's this. Because if it's coming,
I'm going
if
to try
it's
and
coming,
explain to everybody
if
out
it's
there
coming
that a
through to
board
your-
doesn't actually make
if
any
it's
noises
coming-
of its own.
hold on. If it's
It
coming,
can't.
if
It
it's
is
coming,
incapable of doing such.
what I'm saying is,
It can only put out noises that go through it and come out.
if it's coming through to your computer, but it's not coming through to my headphones, then it can't be this computer.
Can you hear it in your headphones or
No,
not?
I can't hear it in my headphones at all. But it's coming through. It's
So
coming.
it's not the board.
It's coming through the computer, but it's also coming through to your computer. So it's not the computer doing this.
It has to be.
It can't be.
It can't be the board. The board can't make noises. The board doesn't make noises. The board moves noises.
I don't know how to.
So by definition, the board cannot do that. Some people like to blame the board for everything, especially our new tortoise.
It's not
producer.
doing it anymore.
Did it? Oh,
I guess. I don't know.
ta-da! I am so sorry, folks. I did not mean to get totally off tangent, but at the same time, your listening experience.
There's no noise now.
Excellent, excellent. Thank you.
Cool.
Your listening experience means everything to us here at Studio 586B. A Viridian subsidiary.
What were we talking about?
Really?
I'm joking.
What were we talking about?
No,
The
I really-
closest person to a dwarf in the room is forgetting about what we're talking about.
I'm dopey.
I'm dopey.
Come on, give me a break.
Okay, let's back up to Sleepy.
Okay.
Sleepy can definitely be a coping mechanism.
Yeah,
I think we all relate to that. Have you ever? Yeah,
definitely.
that. And this is what hit me as I was going through the seven dwarfs. That actually all of them we relate to. All of them have deep
Hmm.
meaning. Sneezy especially right now. Sneezy was the one I stumbled on, and I was like, well, we've all been sick though, and it also kind of relates to the world. But then you get to Sleepy, and Sleepy I relate to so deeply. The day overwhelming, too much to handle, like moments where literally I've just fallen onto a sofa and I'm just out. I'm physically, emotionally, everything wrecked.
You know what's funny is that you would think that the more you sleep, the more relaxed you feel, but the more you sleep, the more tired you feel.
Depends. Yeah, no.
Like if you sleep past the regular 8 hours,
Mm-hmm.
you start to get really really tired past that. Like it starts to be like a chore to get up. Like have you ever noticed that? Like,
Well, I think sometimes I think there's a lot of information out there on how to sleep right.
mhm.
Not like it. Okay, I don't mean sleep right. I mean like timing on sleeping
Right,
has
right,
become
right,
a
right,
bigger thing. So like
right.
I'll run a 30-minute or an hour nap. Now I know you're not supposed to do an hour, but I'll do like a shorter
Yeah,
recharge,
yeah,
and that's a lot better than if I crash for 3 or 4
yeah.
hours.
Definitely, definitely.
Because it's almost like if you crash too long, oh my god, I gotta go back to sleep. Maybe that was
I've
Sleepy's
heard the
problem.
I've heard the
Sleepy
trick.
slept too much.
I've heard that the trick is to not is to take a 20-minute nap. Take a 20-minute nap and you'll like cuz 20 I think 20 minutes is how long it takes to fall into REM sleep or something.
The trick is you're trying to avoid REM sleep.
Yeah, you're trying to avoid cuz as soon as
It's
you fall
20,
in
20 the perfect nap length as
Mhm.
studied is 26 minutes.
26 minutes. Okay.
26 minutes.
Okay.
And then there is the coffee nap, and that is, and I'm trying to get off caffeine, but the coffee nap is you drink a cup of coffee and you lay down for 26 minutes
Okay.
because
It'll
it's long enough that the caffeine will kick in so that when you wake up you'll have energy, though you're starting the caffeine roller coaster again.
right.
And you reset.
Right, right. Okay.
So we've got Dopey was the first one,
Yep.
Sneezy,
Yep.
Grumpy,
Yep.
Sleepy.
Yep.
So that's four of them, right?
Yes, there's 3 more.
Can you think of any of them? Well, we talked about Doc a little bit.
Yeah, Doc a little bit.
So we're at five. Let's talk about Doc.
Mhm.
Doc's that part of us that knows stuff.
The part of us that
The
knows stuff.
confidence. If Doc at least, he's got glasses and he's fixing things. He's the
Okay.
part of us that, gosh, we want to be sometimes. Gosh, sometimes we want to be. Like, am I Doc or am I Dopey? That in a given day you
I'm
can.
a little bit of both.
I'm a little Doc and I'm a little Dopey. Come on over with us, get a
What
little
shirt is that?
soapy.
Angry Birds. Oh, I thought you were wearing a Seven Dwarf shirt.
Oh, I wish
I was
I
gonna
didn't have
say.
seven
I
dwarves.
thought you were wearing a Seven Dwarf
Angry
shirt.
Birds was as close as I could get. So we're not going to talk. What's bashful? Sorry, sneaking up.
Bashful.
Do you ever feel bashful?
I forget what the word bashful means.
Shy.
Embarrassing? Or
Embarrassed.
Shy?
Shy.
Yeah.
Easily embarrassed.
Yeah. Okay. Cool.
The part that
I
holds you
remember now.
back, the part that makes you go, "Oh, I'm not certain."
Yeah.
A
There's
lot of
that.
that,
There's some
man.
of that.
There's some of that.
There's some of that mixed in there.
Well, how do you deal with that? How do you deal with that? Okay, so those who are not paying attention, there's some anxiety involved with us doing this because we live with anxiety. I like to believe it keeps me humble. Bashful and anxiety can kind of go hand in hand,
Mm-hmm.
as opposed to shy. Though I think all of them kind of, I think you feel that. You feel that uncertainty.
Mm-hmm.
If Doc is the one that knows, Bashful's the one that is worried maybe he doesn't know. He might have the answer.
I feel like you
But
gotta
he's afraid to
overcorrect
give it.
with confidence to some extent.
So you got to go full Doc.
Yeah. Not saying like you know what you're doing all the time, but like you gotta like I don't know. I've only been able to get rid of my shyness sometimes. Like there's only certain situations I've been able to like fully get rid of my bashfulness, so to speak.
So there's one last dwarf.
Okay.
Any ideas? So we've been bashful, we've been grumpy, we've been confident like Doc. We've sneezed like a pandemic. We've been dopey, sleepy. 6 dwarves gone.
'Cause I'm happy.
That's right. Because you're happy. There's happy bits. Does
There's
everybody have
happy
happy
bits.
bits?
Happy bits.
Does everybody have? So, one last time we've got Blick, Snick. Wrong list. Hold on. Grumpy, Sneezy, Dopey, Sleepy, Doc, Bashful, and Happy.
Mm-hmm.
How do we get to happy?
How do we get to happy? That is the question. That is, yeah. I don't know. I really don't know.
So I'm gonna make a suggestion.
I think it just
here.
happens sometimes.
This is where I came with the 7 dwarves today.
Okay.
I think all 7 dwarves are in you.
Mm-hmm.
I think the way you get to happy dwarf is you come to terms with all of the dwarves. That the dwarves have to all work together.
Mm-hmm.
That you need some sleeping. We all need to sleep. That's important. I think Bashful and Doc have to work hand in hand. Bashful is the humbleness that keeps Doc right.
Mm.
Or was that Marty? Was it Marty that kept Doc? Never mind.
Wrong.
Oh, sorry.
Universe.
Wrong movie, wrong universe.
Unless Disney owns Back to the Future now.
That you have to come to terms with. You're going to be grumpy. You're going to feel dopey. These are all layers of your onion. They all exist inside of you.
I still feel like we should have talked about Shrek if we were going to talk about onions, but you know.
And that was as it was in the past. A man would wear an onion publicly upon his belt.
What? What the fuck?
I carrieth my onion with me.
Bro, what?
We're very crisp at the moment. I like crisp, like apples. Speaking of apples, Snow White and the 7 Dwarfs. But anyways,
Okay.
the point is, how do we come to terms? We all relate to one or the other of the dwarfs. We go, oh, I love Dopey. And I've got some Doc. And yeah, occasionally I'm sleepy. Maybe even a little bashful.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we always try to avoid kind of grumpy. And why do we always forget happy? Why is happy always the last one that comes up?
I don't know, because he's the least rememberable?
You mean the most positive?
Yep. I said what I said.
You know what I mean? That our admin of great wit off in the Florida hinterlands pointed out immediately that the first things we notice are kind of the negative ones.
Mm-hmm.
That it really is that we relate to the dwarves,
Yeah.
whether we're talking about it like this or not.
Yeah.
We don't relate to happy.
Uh-huh.
We don't bring happy up.
Uh-huh.
Grumpy comes up always. Dopey comes up always. People have trouble remembering Doc, Sleepy, and Bashville. Bashville.
Bashville?
Bashful.
Go to Bashville, guys.
Bashful. Gosh. Bashful. Grumpy, Sneezy, Dopey. Sleepy, Doc, Bashful, Happy. Grumpy, Happy. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I always end up with 1 off.
There's 7.
There's always been 7.
You're forgetting Sneezy, I believe.
Oh, I forget to write Sneezy.
I'll be honest, Sneezy is the only one that's not really like an emotion or something. It's the only one.
You know,
I would even say, because I would even say that, like, when I'm sick, I'm not really, like, a special emotion. I'm just sick. Like, it's kind of a
I think
state of
sick's
being
yeah.
to me. I don't know.
But that's my point. It is kind of a state of being. We can lose ourselves in it. We can lose ourselves in our head with being sick, especially right now.
I'm mostly sleepy when I'm sick, I guess.
I mean,
you know?
and grumpy.
I want to sleep
You're-
through.
you're
Yeah,
li-
grumpy too. Yeah.
But and also, take care of me. Right? There's some of that. Not whether or not we admit it when
Maybe.
we're feeling it when
Yeah.
we're sick. It's like, man, I wish somebody would just,
yeah.
you know.
Yeah.
But they wouldn't show queasy. But anyways,
They wouldn't show queasy.
nobody wants to see somebody go through withdrawals. It's just a mess. Why though? So if you had to pick, now you get to pick one dwarf.
Dopey.
Dopey.
I'm
See,
always gonna pick Dopey. I love him. He's so
does
dope.
anybody not pick Dopey?
He's so dope. I just love Dopey.
Well, is it because he's so cute and
No, I relate
I relate?
more than any of the other ones. I relate.
I relate. You know what? I think that's the reality. So when we as humans, how to get to happy, the dwarf we forget, is you have to work your way through the other 6 and be okay with those spaces. That sometimes I'm this or this or this or this, and I'm happy that those pieces are part of me.
Mm-hmm.
Grumpy serves a purpose.
Yeah.
Grumpy serves the purpose of defending your own. What's the word I'm looking for?
Peace.
No, that's okay.
Okay.
I have trouble setting boundaries. Grumpy sets your boundaries.
I'd still say that's defending your peace.
Okay, you said a peace, right?
Yeah.
Peace or peace, EARIE. You're right. That I think of. So Grumpy keeps us safe because Grumpy goes, no, this isn't right.
Right.
I don't want nothing to do with this.
Right.
Doc is the side of us that wants to learn stuff.
Yeah.
The word I gave for myself yesterday is interested. You know, that I embrace my Docness.
Mm-hmm.
That Sleepy I own all day long. Sneezy, everybody currently. I have dealt, for me, sickness is a real thing. Not sickness like, God, that sounds horrible.
I don't really relate to that one because I don't get sick very often.
My problem is my head is really good at running the rest of my body.
Mm.
So I don't just mean sick in the sense of I can feel physically ill
Mm-hmm.
and have to try and diagnose whether it's my brain or my body.
Okay. I get that.
So I relate to the idea of, I think Sneezy's a bit of a
I feel like
hypochondriac.
when I'm mentally not there, it kind of manifests as sleepy without me doing anything. Like it just manifests as me wanting to sleep. Or even when I'm physically sick, I just want to sleep. Like that's all I want to do.
If you sleep too much, how do you feel about it, though? Do you end up feeling bad about it?
No, I just feel tired.
No, I mean, if...
Like
Do you ever go through the I'm sleeping too much and there are things I'm avoiding? Do you know you're avoiding?
Yeah.
Do you
Yeah,
feel bad
definitely.
about avoiding like that or not? That's what I'm saying.
Sometimes, yeah.
How about bashful?
But it's more like I feel physically tired. Like the more that I sleep, the more physically tired I feel, and the more I feel like I can't like physically do as much as I needed to get done. Like I feel like I just need to stay up for a little bit.
So we struggle with the 6 dwarfs.
Mhm.
And we forget about the 7th.
Mhm.
Doesn't it? So this is where this all came from. Was that no one is complete without being okay with all 7 of the dwarves. And it's really almost you got to work your way through the 6 gatekeepers to get to that middle one.
Mhm.
That overconfidence, overtired, over shy, over sick, over angry,
Mhm.
over dopey, for lack of a better word, are all traps. My argument is over happy is a trap too. That fake over the top happy doesn't get you there. That there's something to be said of making peace with your 7 dwarves.
Yeah.
That as much as we all relate to one or another, you need them all going, hi ho, it's off to work we
It's
go.
okay.
Da 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 da. Bum 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 bum. That if you leave any of the dwarves behind, there's something missing from your day.
I get that.
It's a dishonest, not that it's not dishonest to the world kind of day, dishonest internally, and then your body isn't
I would
in
say
balance.
to some extent, I don't really experience these on a daily basis, though. To some extent, I usually experience one or the other,
Which
or
one?
maybe a couple of them at once. You know,
Which one don't you think you experience in a day?
which one do I think I don't
That
experience
you
in a
don't
day?
experience in a day.
Sneezy. I don't see a reason that Sneezy is in this.
We're not fighting. So
You know, I don't
most
get
of
it.
us aren't fighting with mental health at all.
But Dopey's the one that I
No.
don't know, man. Dopey seems
Dopey's-
more mental healthy to me.
No, Dopey's not mental healthy. Dopey's sitting back in the and just watching it go by and not involved.
Oh, okay.
You gotta lure Dopey out.
Okay.
Dopey's not real. But Dopey's sitting. Dopey is James Franco on Freaks and Geeks.
Okay.
James Franco kind of. Oh my God! I apologize. This is such a meta kind of deep dive thought.
Uh-huh.
It's James Franco trying to set up the film projector after he's forced to join the AV club, even though what he is one of the hoods, and he's a total idiot and has no idea because he has trouble paying attention. But then he starts working at it,
Uh-huh.
and then his life is saved by Dungeons and Dragons, as all lives are saved.
I wouldn't say saved. He had fun.
He had fun.
Yeah.
But he had to get out of his dopey mode.
Okay.
He had to go, okay, I'll be a dwarf.
Uh-huh.
Full circle, baby. I'll bring dwarves wherever I have to,
Okay.
even if I have to use them as producers.
Not a dwarf. I hate it here.
That's true. He's not a dwarf, folks. I have measured.
Taller than a dwarf by an inch.
He does have an inch. He does.
No offense to dwarves. I love you guys.
Which dwarf is you? That's the way we always ask this. Which dwarf is you is what we want to know. But reality is, we were always all the dwarves all the way down. Finding balance in life is really hard. We both know this. Work balance, life balance, just all of it. Sleep balance.
Mm-hmm.
That the trick is getting our 7 dwarves to work together. Hi ho, it's off to work we go. Do 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 do. They all need each other.
Yes, they do. They do.
All of your dwarves need each other too. Okay, so what other dwarf do you feel you're not running into on a daily basis? Do do do.
That's a good question. I'd say Happy. He's not always there.
Aren't there pieces?
There's pieces, yeah. Like every once in, like I would say, like my day goes like I'm all right. Like I'm okay. Like
You
I'm
go
not
sleepy,
I'm not
grumpy, dopey,
I'm not I'm not like
bashful.
super happy. I'm not like super happy, but I'm not like super depressed. I'm just like all right,
This is your big
I'm
chance to
okay.
sing happy.
happy.
You can sing happy. Cause you see, I can't, man. I ain't got Pharrell's voice.
I don't got Pharrell's voice either. That's why I'm not attempting it. I don't want to try.
I am just proving that Bashful is in the studio.
Bashful is definitely in the studio, always.
So, the one we never think of, the one we always miss, is the one we always feel like we're not finding.
Sometimes, like there's pockets, you know.
Oh my God! On top of it all, it's National Popcorn Day.
It's National Popcorn Day. Oh snap! I love popcorn.
I'm gonna admit something to those of you out there. The overwhelming smell of buttered popcorn has gotten to the point of causing Queasy to make his appearance in Snow White and the 8 Dwarves.
I haven't eaten popcorn in like 2 weeks. I don't know what he's talking about. Man.
That it's a balancing act. I mean, 7 doesn't even begin to cover our dwarves.
Mm-hmm.
The layers of our onion, each layer different. 7 is a unifying group that we can all relate to. But all of us have our own dwarves we've got to make, make a peace with, if you will. So as unusual as our Disney afternoon has been, I think it's an interesting way to examine who we are when we can put it in a place that it's outside of us and talk about finding a balance in a silly way that
Mm-hmm.
dopey, doc, sleepy, bashful, sneezy, grumpy all have to figure out a way to accept happy. That many of them are avoidance techniques because there's a dwarf you've forgotten about.
I think they gotta coexist to some extent.
Right. No, I agree. That I don't,
I don't think Happy's like the one above all.
but it's the one always forgotten.
I don't know. I thought. Yeah, I don't know. I guess.
That the one that you said you don't experience was happy. The one we mentioned that came up last was happy.
Mm-hmm.
The one that, it was brilliant insight, I think, to point out that the first place we start is negative.
Mm-hmm.
We all go for dopey because he's the least negative of our negative dwarves, maybe.
The least negative of our negative
Doc.
dwarves.
Represents overconfidence too.
Okay.
That when you think about it as, the combination, how do you get to content? So if what you do is look at it as a balance of the 7,
Mm-hmm.
then happy isn't what matters.
Mm-hmm.
Happy is just one of the conditions that must come about equally
Yeah.
to reach contentment. So in the end, that's the mind we're going for. Is that your phone beeping?
No, it's yours.
No, it's not. Ha ha ha.
It might be this one. Thought I put it on.
Is that something people relate to? Is that something people can feel?
Yeah, it's on D&D.
I think it beep. It's that it rattles.
Yeah.
I hear it on the table actually. No, I knew it didn't beep.
If it's on D&D, it won't make a sound.
No, it was on
Something I heard.
something
I heard
vibrating.
something vibrate.
It might,
Yeah.
You know what? For those of you who haven't figured out the B, it's basement. Actually, if the phone goes off upstairs, I hear the vibration.
Really?
I often hear the wife's phone
Oh.
up here in the corner.
Okay.
I hear
That's
all
wild.
kinds of weirdness. That's why when people are like, "Oh, I hear noise," I mean, there's some white noise in here. There always is.
Uh-huh.
Occasionally, you may even hear the sound of water in the distance.
Yeah.
Hopefully, there's some people out here that haven't been down here.
water
We keep meaning to
things.
put up pictures. I put up some pictures of the other side of the studio, and there is, by virtue of a gift from my daughter, a 300-gallon pond in the other room.
Mm-hmm.
There's a mine here for our dwarves to work in. That if we want to go mine gems, all the dwarves have to work together. Was that a wrap up? Did I bring dwarves all the way back around somehow?
Mm-hmm.
I know this has been a little tedious today. I didn't mean for it to
That's
be.
okay. That's okay. That's okay.
I think coming to terms with who we are in pieces allows us to slowly build the puzzle of who we are in reality.
Repeat that one more time.
I find that coming to terms with who we are in pieces
Mm-hmm.
allows us to better put together the picture of who we are in reality, like putting together a puzzle slowly. As we come to terms with more pieces, there aren't bad pieces. They're just pieces that need the other pieces to make them whole.
Right. Right.
If you bring all 7 of the dwarves together,
They work together fine. They work together fine.
that now you have a working unit, a group making it work inside of you. And
Yeah.
that's our goal. That, in the end, how to ride this roller coaster in a less roller coastery kind of way. And I think that everybody rowing, oh my God, I'm going to mix so many metaphors here. Everybody rowing, everybody coming together as one. And meanwhile, I sound like I might have split personalities. I'm like, hold on, I'm going to get all my dwarves together real quick, and then I will be ready to talk to you. Hold on, the dwarves have some work to do. I'm Doc. It's the accepting that we are multifaceted
Mhm.
and that others are multifaceted.
Mhm.
Don't define things by a single dwarf.
Yeah.
You know, don't define people by a single dwarf, and don't define yourself by a single dwarf. And I wanted everybody to know, dwarf is spelled DWARF because dwarves doesn't happen until J.R.R. Tolkien decides that he wants to separate dwarfism and dwarves, and then we add DWARVES, which is a non-traditional spelling.
I want to say something
Yes.
just to confirm that I learned nothing. I'm still dopey. No, I'm just joking. I'm just playing. I'm just
What
playing,
a great
man.
conversation. I really enjoyed talking to you all today. You know, what I really wanted to do was kind of open up in a silly way
Yeah.
about the fact that we're complicated.
Yep.
Humans are complicated.
Complications.
Don't beat yourself up because one of the dwarves is currently riding rampant.
Right.
Just remember, you got to get together with all your dwarves to get to happy. No, happy needs to be in with all the rest. Anyways, you need to get all your dwarves together. If you're going off mining for gems off in life today. So I will leave you with just this one little bit. Hi ho, hi ho, it's off to work we go. The show is done. It's been real fun. Hi ho, hi ho, hi ho, hi ho. Thanks, guys. You know I always appreciate it. I try to make it work, folks.